When I first met Clara, she was ambitious, charming, and endlessly optimistic. She worked at a marketing firm where everyone seemed to adore her. I was proud of her success and often bragged about her dedication to her job. I never thought that same dedication would one day destroy our marriage. 4 years, I believed we had a perfect relationship. She'd come home tired but smiling, telling stories about office meetings and new clients. I trusted every word because I never had a reason not to. Things began to change when she started coming home later than usual. She'd claim her boss, Andrew, was assigning extra projects, and she couldn't say no. I didn't question her, but small details began to feel off. Her perfume lingering longer than usual, her laughter over text messages at midnight, and her phone always face down. When I asked if something was wrong, she brushed it off, saying I was overthinking. I wanted to believe her, so I did. One evening, I surprised her at work. I brought coffee and pastries for her team, hoping to make her day a bit easier. The moment I stepped inside, the atmosphere changed. Conversations died down, and glances bounced between Clara and Andrew. She looked startled, almost nervous, as if she hadn't expected me there. I didn't stay long, but that visit planted a deep seed of doubt inside me. Over the next few weeks, I started noticing patterns. Clara would dress up more than usual on late nights. Her phone stayed locked, and she'd carry it everywhere, even to the bathroom. I finally decided to look deeper. I reached out to one of her coworkers, Lisa, pretending I was planning a surprise for Clara's upcoming birthday. I asked what time she usually left the office. Lisa hesitated before saying, "You should probably ask Clara." Her tone was uneasy, and I knew she was hiding something. That night, I waited outside Clara's office building. Hours passed and finally, I saw her exit, not alone, but with Andrew. They weren't walking like co-workers. His hand brushed her waist, and she smiled up at him in a way she hadn't smiled at me in months. My chest tightened as the truth hit me like a hammer. She wasn't working late. She was with him. 4 days, I couldn't sleep. I wanted to confront her, but something in me wanted to be sure, to gather proof, not just accusations. So I started digging. I spoke with a friend who worked in IT and asked for advice. With his help, I backed up her phone data onto my laptop. What I found shattered me completely: messages between Clara and Andrew, calling each other my love, making plans to travel together, and even laughing about how no one would ever tell her husband. But the worst part wasn't just her betrayal. It was realizing everyone in her office knew. The chat threads showed jokes from coworkers, teasing them about their little secret. They all covered for her, lying when I called, pretending she was in meetings. My anger grew from hurt into cold determination. I decided if she could plan in secret, so could I. I stayed calm around Clara, pretending nothing was wrong. She continued her act, thinking I was blind. I started preparing my revenge, not violent or cruel, but calculated and just. First, I collected every piece of evidence: screenshots, emails, photos, even text messages from her colleagues confirming they knew. Then, I made an appointment with Andrew's wife. When I met her, she already suspected something but lacked proof. I gave her everything. She sat silently as she read through the messages, her hands trembling. She thanked me and said she'd take care of things from her side. A few days later, rumors spread that Andrew was being investigated for inappropriate workplace behavior. HR got involved, and soon after, he was fired. Clara came home crying, saying her boss was unfairly accused and she didn't know why people were turning on her. I just listened, nodding quietly. Then, I handed her the envelope with all the proof, the screenshots, photos, and printed messages. Her face went pale as she realized what I'd done. She tried to explain, to twist the story, but it was too late. I told her to pack her things. I had already contacted a lawyer and filed for divorce. But I didn't stop there. I sent copies of her messages to her company's management team. Her co-workers who helped hide the affair were called in for questioning. A few of them were suspended, and Clara's reputation was destroyed. She was forced to resign within a week. She tried to come back, begging me to forgive her, saying she had lost everything. I told her that she had made her choices, and now she could live with them. I moved out of the house we once shared and started fresh in another city. For a long time, I felt numb, but eventually, peace returned. Months later, I heard through a mutual friend that Clara was struggling to find work. Her name had become a warning in her industry, a reminder of what happens when dishonesty and betrayal mix with arrogance. I didn't celebrate her downfall, but I didn't pity her either. Looking back, I realized the revenge wasn't about destroying her career, it was about reclaiming my self-respect. She thought I would never fight back, that my love would blind me forever. But love built on lies isn't love at all. Now, when I think of Clara, I don't feel anger. I feel gratitude. Her betrayal taught me the value of truth, loyalty, and quiet strength. She lost everything she built through deceit, and I found myself again through courage. And that, in the end, was the sweetest revenge of all.